Acknowledge me.
Leveled by Marvin Constant, the redshirt freshman out of Tuscaloosa.
Oh, they go by now. Let him know he don't want to die.
65 yards as the ball was thrown away from the line of scrimmage. Gerald Dixon.
Hey, you forgot to see my book.
And you proper.
You done hitting buttons, man? Come on.
Listen, we got the hypest intro there is in the game, and Restream said, you know what? We need to let the people hear it one more time to get them in the right mindset, because this is LSU week, folks. Welcome in, everybody. That's it. I see it. Welcome in, everybody. This is the Bama Standard. Before we get started, I got a couple of assignments for everyone in the audience. I want you to hit that like and subscribe button. You see it on the screen. Live chat. Let's get rowdy tonight. All the fans of our guest, if you're in the live chat, show up, show out, show some love. If you're watching the replay, get down in the comment section below. Show us some love there. Everything counts. This is the biggest week of the schedule. We're going to talk all about it. But first, we got to talk about some folks that are sponsors of this great network, and we got a new one. So let's tell you how they're doing it for the Bama Standard. Have you ever dreamed of having a beautiful natural stone in or around your home? Don't settle for subpar materials. Check out Lamstone Company's selection of natural stone products to meet all of your project needs. Lamstone is located in Oneonta, Alabama, and is one of the oldest, most trusted sources in the state. So contact them today. Tell them we sent you by using the promo code the Bama Standard to receive 10% off your first order.
Lamstone Company for all of your real rock needs.
I still don't know if that rock is as hard as Marvin's head, but we'll get to that later. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, Justin Riley. With me, as always, is an all-star crew. We're down our star tonight. His mom is in the hospital, so say prayers for Steve Brown's mom. But that means we still got a great cast that's going to carry the rest of the way. 1999. All SEC linebacker. And when Ric Flair said to be the man, woo, you got to beat the man. Ladies and gentlemen, he's still that man, Marvin Constant.
Hey, baby, we still smoke.
Milky love.
You
What's
see
happening,
it?
baby?
Now, what's going on, brother?
And not to be outdone, another all SEC performer, all SEC defensive back. He was a part of Bills Mafia in the NFL. He was also a scout for the Buffalo Bills. He was a scout for the XFL. He also was one of the leading recruiters in the country, and not one, but multiple locations. Right now, he's with CBS and 247 Sports. But more importantly, he's with the Bama Standard. Folks, give it up for Gerald Smo Dixon.
Respect. I like that. I ain't even gonna listen, Marvin. I'm just finishing up my notes. I ain't even gonna look up. Keep going.
So you're not gonna let me distract you? Is what?
Nah.
He's getting ready for PT, Marvin. Last but not least, he's a senior analyst of Touchdown, Alabama Magazine, and the Bama Standard. He's a guy that keeps Paul Feinbaum gainfully employed. And if you look behind him, he stole the set from the Tonight Show. Ladies and gentlemen, Stephen M. Smith.
Well, I didn't steal it. They got me copied.
I didn't steal it. I mean, Feinbaum wasn't using it, and he just told me to give it back whenever I was done with it. So
this is actually true.
It's uncanny how that impersonation just right on the bullseye. But listen, we're here to have some fun. We got a special guest in here tonight. You're going to learn all about him, Bama Nation. You better get excited about this man coming to campus. But there's only one man on this panel who can bring him in the right way, and that's Stephen M. Smith. Stephen, do your thing.
We got him coming in from Georgia. Boom! 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 6'5". Woo! 211 pounds. Woo! Throwing up the length. Woo! Class of 2025. Woo! Already committed. Woo! 4-star in the playoffs right now. And it's going to early enroll. Marshall Pritchett.
Marshall was happening, baby.
By the time you said woohoo, your glasses fogged up.
Leave that man alone.
Gotta get him excited, man.
Leave that man alone.
Listen,
Leave him
Marshall,
alone. Let him
be honest. You know, you got some great announcers over there at your school. You know, you've heard the announcers at Bryant Denny. Have any of them came close to what you just heard from Stephen and Smith?
Man, that was 10 out of 10.
So,
That's
Marshall,
juice, man. He's bringing the juice late at night. You got to give a little respect to that.
Hey,
where do you go to school, Marshall?
I go to a school called Raven Gap. It's in North Georgia.
Raven County?
Yeah, it's 10 minutes from there, 10, 15 minutes from there.
So you almost live in North Carolina is what you're telling me.
Yes, sir. Right on the border.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I recruited that school before. I got a couple of guys out of there.
Yes, sir. We got some guys.
All the way up there in that corner.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now, Marshall, if you're looking to take your workout to the next level, Marvin Constant, just below you, is just outside of Atlanta. If you need to go down there for some extra training, hit him up.
Love it, man. I'm in Atlanta a lot. My dad lives there. My older brother plays at Georgia Tech, so might have to link up.
I'm here.
Dad was also a part of the Bills Mafia.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Well, let's get started. I'm going to spread around the room. I'll start us off. Then we'll go down to my guy Smoke, then over to Marvin, then up to Stephen M. Marshall, talk to us, man. You recently flipped from North Carolina. You know, I don't want the Sunday school answer. I know Alabama is arguably the best in terms of history. Championship winning school. That script A carries a lot of weight. But what about Alabama made you choose them as your next home?
Yes, sir. That's a great question. You know, obviously made the decision initially to go to North Carolina. You know, I thought it was the best fit for me and my family. But as it, you know, continued down the road and I continued to, you know, develop and grow as a player and a person, you know, I started really realizing my potential. And I felt like at Alabama, my opportunity to develop and play at a high level was, you know, obviously at an all-time high. I think everybody can agree that the SEC is just different. You know, it means more. And, you know, as I kept getting recruited and kept letting Coach Ellis and Coach DeBoer and Coach Sheridan, everybody just continued chipping at it. It almost felt like it just fell in my lap, and it was an opportunity I couldn't pass up on. So, you know, Coach Ellis came to one of my games, and pregame I said, you know, if I score a touchdown, I'll go up to him and commit. And first time I scored, so just made it official there and then. You know, very excited for the opportunity, and you know, roll tide.
Yeah,
Marshall,
roll tide.
You want me to answer this question for you because I see this is what he really wanted to say.
Okay.
I would rather have my feet in cement outside of Bryant Denny than tar in North Carolina.
Spot on.
Well said. It couldn't be said better. Now you decided to flip from North Carolina to Alabama. Also was well said. What were the two deciding factors that got you to make that change?
Yes, sir. You know, one is I committed to a staff at North Carolina that, you know, had made it clear to me that they thought it was, you know, secure and I was going to play for them, but just they had a rough start to the year and some uncertainty started circling around. And at the same time, you know, I go and visit Alabama and they're playing Georgia. You know, I'm sitting in Bryant Denny looking around and I'm like, you know, Alabama wants me. You know, they made it clear that they need me and they want me. You know, just kind of did check every box at the end of the day. I felt more comfortable once I had taken that game day visit and really just taken everything in. You know, it gave me a different perspective. And, you know, the two main factors I would say is really just development. You know, like I said, it's hard to argue there's any better place to play. And then two was scheme. You know, this year the production at the position, you know, tight end, it hasn't been crazy, but you can tell there's a will to get them the ball. They got two guys that aren't necessarily my play style, and they do an amazing job stretching the field. But I think, you know, if you look back to Coach DeBoer's offenses at his previous stops, you know, Coach Sheridan was a tight end coach for 4 years at Washington. Coach Ellis was an OC and tight end coach. You know, Coach DeBoer was a tight end coach. So he made it clear that tight end's a very important position in his offense. And, you know, he needs a guy like me that can stretch the field, you know, make explosive plays. And, you know, that was the main thing that was kind of the last box, you know, and versus Georgia, they caught 8 passes. You know, I looked at my dad there and then, and I was like, man, this is going to be hard to pass up. Then I ended up, you know, coming to terms with it a week or two later.
Awesome.
No. When you look at Marshall, when you look at Coach Cap as well, I know he's the offensive line guy, but he stresses physicality. Like he stresses blocking. He stresses getting in somebody's face and knock them over. Looking at him, what does he bring to you that has you go, hey, I can stretch the field, but I can also understand what Coach Cap is saying and block the mess out of somebody.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's part of the position I play. And there was a big step for me maturity wise, coming from junior season to senior season was I wanted to prioritize that. So I got my body right in the off season, got bigger. It says 211 pounds, but I'm playing at 220 right now, and I've played the whole year at it. I think blocking's a big mindset thing. And when I went on my official visit, talking to him, talking to Coach Ellis, and, I also got to see spring practice. That's not something you're going to shy away from at a big program like Alabama. You have to be physical. Even in my position, I like to consider myself a receiving tight end, but you're no good if you also aren't a gem in the run game. So I try and balance my game. I'm no stranger to the receiving part of things, but I definitely have a long way to go in the run block and stuff. And I'm going to let them do their thing, developing me. And I think my ceiling in the run blocking game is pretty far away, but I'm very confident in their ability to just get me where I need to be.
Yeah, I see you in that run blocking situation, man. And it is funny because I look at the body language of those defenders who make those decisions to go against you.
Yeah.
Afterwards, I think they're making life decisions on maybe if football is really their sport because of the way you just launch into them. It's absolutely amazing. But, as you look over the landscape of Alabama through the years, we've had some greats at your position. Okay, O.J. Howard, arguably one of the best to ever play. And you look current day, you look at C.J. Dupree, and also outside of Bama. I see a lot of George Kittle in you. Everybody's looking for that next name historic player. And too often we don't look at the individual who's coming in. Talk to us about your identity coming in and why you're going to be the next great you.
Yes, sir. That's a great question. I come from a football family. My father played at Notre Dame, won a national championship, leading tackler, played in the NFL. Older brother at Georgia Tech, younger brother's doing his thing in Charleston. I just come from a family that loves the game, and making the decision to come to the school I'm at now, it kind of threw myself in the wild, threw myself in an uncertain situation. It's a boarding school, 5.5 hours from home. So, I moved in here at 15 years old, was a quarterback, hadn't played receiver. I show up here at receiver, they're like, play tight end, switch to tight end. I love football. This is why I'm here. It's why I'm sitting here right now. And I think, coming in, I have that mindset that I'm gonna work for everything. I'm gonna, I texted, or when I called Coach DeBoer and let him know, I said, I'm gonna give you everything I got every day. And that's the one thing I can promise you for 4 years. He said, I can promise you back, you'll get an opportunity. So, just coming in, I want to make it, known right away, just the player I am. And, like I said, I got work to do in the run game, but, I'm just more than confident that, I belong at the SEC level. And, I'm very excited to get to work in January, show my skills right off the rip. And, I'm going to fight for that job first year. And, if I got to wait, I'll wait. My time will come. So.
Man, powerful stuff. Go ahead, Marvin.
Boarding school. Your parents must not like you much.
That's a good boarding school, Marvin.
Hey, they love me, man. They love me. They knew it was best for me.
Okay, but in all seriousness, I mean, a lot of people don't understand what the environments do for recruits, man. And I'm telling you, I know you went to several games at North Carolina, but I was at the Alabama-Georgia game, as I am at often games. That environment,
different world, bro. Different world.
Marshall, it's hard to say no to that. Tell the truth.
Oh yeah.
It is hard to say no to Bryant-Denny Stadium. But, overall, when you look at, what programs can do for a kid in terms of taking him from a kid to making him a man, Alabama has proven time and time again that they are far superior to others in getting kids to the next level. But it's not so much that you want to get to the next level as much as it is you want to be developed so that you can sustain at the next level. So what is it you feel you need to work on outside of that run blocking that'll be the key for you to sustain that career at that next level?
Yes, sir. That's like another great question. I think coming in, I'm a little bit ahead of some kids. I'm used to the kind of the college lifestyle. Like I said, I've been away from home now. It's my third year. You learn. My school, we call ourselves a college prep program. We play top 100 opponents weekly. You know, I'm going against SEC, ACC, you know, all those conferences, playing guys like that every week. So I'm playing some dudes coming in. You know, I'm used to the time management, study hall, you know, doing my laundry, all that stuff. So I think coming in, I'm definitely at an advantage compared to some of these kids. You know, I'm used to living away from home. But I think there's a level of maturity you have to have when you're getting there. You know, I'm going to be around some dudes. I'm going to be around some older guys. You know, the tight end room specifically is going to be a little bit older. I think 2 redshirt juniors. You know, Cuevas I think is a senior next year, and then Jay will be a redshirt freshman, and then
But don't let those numbers put that's a moot point. Trust me, I got to Alabama. They had a sophomore ahead of me who was a freshman All-American. That meant nothing.
Yeah.
Listen, man,
Hey.
stay true to who you
nice.
are.
I'm trying to be nice.
Own your game and do what you got to do
Yes,
to
sir.
get those reps. I hate when guys let the guys that are there make them feel like, oh, I got to wait, or I got to do this. No. From day one, you walk in there and lay the law down. From day one, you let them know you ain't there to play.
Oh, yeah.
From day one, you let them know y'all gonna have to see me every time you see me.
Hey, Marvin, like Travis is long gone, man. Leave Travis Carolina.
I'm not even talking about Travis. I'm talking about a lot of these kids who go to these programs and they transfer after a year or two because they've been sitting on the bench and they like, well, I ain't on the field. But again, you can't let that competition scare you. You should let that competition sharpen your skills to a point to where you should be wanting to beat that person out, because by beating them out, that puts you one step closer to your goal at the end of the day.
Right.
And I didn't say nothing about study hall, man.
Oh, there you go. Listen,
we gonna leave that one alone. Marshall, be careful who you go to study hall with, and we gonna end it there.
Be careful about what you say, because like Mr. Constant, your words might get put on the front page of the Tuscaloosa News.
Man, I was always misquoted, but that's different.
No, you weren't. You said every bit of what you said.
And Marshall, if you haven't realized, Marvin and I go back all the way in college.
I
way back.
Teammates and really good friends. And a lot of the stuff that we don't need to ever mention again, but he keeps on bringing up these old stories. And that's one of the beauties of going to college and becoming lifelong friends with your teammates. And that, I believe that's what a lot of these young guys aren't appreciating.
Yes,
so
sir.
everyone's looking at, how am I going to get this bag? How am I going to get to the league? When am I going to get to the league? There's far more than that. The league and all that stuff, like your father knows, and you know, because you've been through it with him. It's short. It's short.
It is.
But the memories and the friendship that you build with your teammates it's lifelong. But with that said, you said you're going to be an early enrollee. So getting there, you're going to be in a bowl game. Love to be in a playoff game, and love to be in a championship game. But in those 3 weeks of preparation, what are a few things that you want to get accomplished being an early enrollee?
You know, like Marvin said, I'm coming in there. I want to be the first dude in. I don't know how many of these of the commits are going to go to bowl game, but you know, I'm coming in there and I want to set the tone right away. Make sure I do everything right. You know, that's pretty baseline stuff, but I really just want to show the coaches that I'm ready to go. You know, I want them to be able to trust me right off rip. I think, you know, having a brother in college football, that the early weeks you're there, the first impressions is a real thing.
Right.
I'm the first. Me and Caleb are the first 2 tight ends Coach Ellis is bringing in, so I want to, you know, make sure I'm coming in right away, and he can have trust in me, have faith in me. So as a off season, everything goes on, that you know he's ready to call my number, and you know I'm ready when he calls it. So
I got a question.
It's not your
I'm
turn.
ready.
Sir.
Hold on, time out. This is important though. What classification is your brother at Georgia Tech?
Freshman, true freshman.
All right. So you're right there behind it. It's not often that you get a chance to play college ball with your brother. So what is it about Alabama, or in particular, that's making you turn down the opportunity to play college ball with your brother? Because for me, that's an opportunity I would never turn down.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was, I mean, that's my guy, man. That's my rock. He was my roommate when I first got here. You know, we've been through a lot together. So that was something we always, you know, talked about doing. And, you know, like you said, a lot of people, it's something they'd snap on right away. But, you know, it was definitely tough. There were some things I don't want to say right now, but just that were kind of, you know, red flags with my situation where he's at. And, you know, I love the guy, man. Hopefully one day we reunite on the field. But, you know, we had talked about that for a while when my recruitment came down to the wire, and it just, I didn't feel at home, you know, at Tech. And power to those guys. I love that program. I love the people involved, but just didn't feel like the right fit. And, you know, we've talked about it. Hopefully one day it'll work out, but, you know, it is what it is.
Marshall, when you look at Coach DeBoer, right? Like, what sold you on him in terms of this guy can make me a champion, or this guy can develop me into a champion, this guy can get me to where I need to go? Because DeBoer right now, he stepped into, because Coach Saban was once here, and now you are coming after Coach Saban, and it is so hard to come behind a legend and have the same kind of success. And so far, DeBoer is trying to get this team into the college football playoff. But what has sold you on him to the fact that he can make me a champion?
Yeah, so right off rip on my official visit, you know, you hear a lot of coaches say, you know, we're going to, or, you know what I mean? They have this goal that they want to accomplish. He's accomplished it. He's taken a program like Washington to the highest of college football. He got him to the championship. You know, it's not a program that does that consistently. So, you know, the second he started telling me his visions, I knew there was proof he's done it. There's results. You know, I think his record coming into the year was 100-something and 12. You know, it's pretty good. You know, he beat Kirby Smart in his first appearance against them at Alabama. I don't know if he played him before, but, you know, his little stuff like that. And then, you know, meeting with him, the time he spent with me and my family, you know, he's a calm, confident guy. You know, and a lot of people were getting on him saying he doesn't coach hard. That's not true. You know, he's going to get in your face. He's going to coach you hard. That's why he's developed talent. And, you know, everything started checking off the more I met with him, the more I talked to him on the phone. And, you know, like I said, just getting to that level of comfort with the whole staff, including him, including Coach Sheridan, including Coach Ellis, was really what made my decision so easy for me. It just felt like it was right at the time. And, you know, it hasn't changed. My feelings towards Alabama and towards the staff, it hasn't changed. You know what I mean? And, you know, like I said, the main thing is just the result that he's done it. You know what I mean? He's taken a program to the top, and he's coming into a program that's going to get elite talent every year. Like I just saw earlier today, we're the #1 recruiting class in 25. You know what I mean? And the guy came in December and was able to accomplish that. So his visions for the program are, you know, they're through the roof, and he can accomplish it, and I believe he will. I have full confidence in that.
That's what's up. All right, we got one last round, Marshall. We're gonna make it count.
Do it.
I'm gonna start off. Of course, you know what this week is. We talked a little bit about it before we jumped on air. You come to Alabama to play in big games like what we're going to experience this Saturday. It doesn't get any bigger than this. It's a playoff elimination game. It's an SEC championship elimination game. Insert yourself into this game. How are you preparing for it?
You know, I always like to consider myself a leader. You know, it's something that I took on this year, big task, being a captain. You know, I always make sure first my receivers, my tight ends right now at my level, I make sure they're always dialed in. We always meet every Thursday, make sure everybody's head's right. You know, I try and control them, you know, and coach them how I coach myself, you know, always preparing for any moment. And then, you know, you got to make sure the guys are ready. You know, little stuff like, you know, the week of the game, you know, you don't want to hear no negativity about, you know, what if we lose, you know, stuff like that. I'm a big fan of, you know, envisioning yourself making plays and stuff like that, manifesting greatness. So, you know, I think just making sure the guys' heads are right, making sure everybody's locked in. And, you know, at the end of the day, it's an incredible opportunity. And make sure just nobody takes that lightly. You know, be thankful for the opportunity and go out there. And, you know, like you said earlier, the script day, you know, it means something to play for Alabama. So when you put those pads on, you got to make sure, you know, you're ready to go. You know, you're ready to run through a wall for the guys next to you. And, you know, I have confidence in this team. You know, Saturday night, they're going to come through. You know, we got some LSU fans on this team. So I've been running my mouth all week, so I need the guys to come through.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
Marshall, like you said earlier, 2025 class, #1 ranked right now. You know, every one of us that go in with our class at Alabama, we always speak of what we want to do when we get there and what's our lasting image and the lasting memories is going to be. Talking to some of your classmates, or potential classmates, what's the next step for Alabama's 2025 class? What are you guys going to do when you guys get there? So in 4 years, we're all walking away saying, hey, that's another national championship.
Yes, sir. I mean, obviously, baseline, the goal is, you know, bring it home every year. But, you know, going into my ultimate decision, I talked to Irv Smith Sr., you know, dad of Irv Smith Jr.
Okay.
He played a year after my dad at Notre Dame. So they became friends over the years. And he was talking about, you know, how great it was to watch the national championship every year his son was at Alabama. The second he said that, it put it in perspective for me, just how elite that really is and how, there's not many programs who have ever gotten the opportunity to do that. So coming in, man, we got some dogs, we're going to see who's really about it when we get there. But I think everybody's goal is to play for it, to win it. You know what I mean? You're following Coach Saban's legacy, and I think we do have the opportunity to be one of the first teams to do it. In our class, my dad came in, and I think he was Lou Holtz's first class, and they won the national championship his senior year, and we were talking about that the other day. That kind of puts it in perspective. I want to make sure I leave Alabama, and I don't just want to play in it. I want to win it. I want to contribute, and I'm very confident in our class and the guys that I've gotten to build a relationship with. That we're signing the right guys. We're signing winners. If you look at Keelan Russell, I think he's 65-3 in his high school career. I'm playing in a state championship, hopefully for the second year in a row. Coming from a winning program, and a lot of these guys, they come from success. They committed to Alabama to chase the same goal as all of us. We all held the natty on our official visit in the pictures, but to me, that was just put it in perspective for me. That's what I want to hold. I want to accomplish that in my time at Alabama. That was another main factor in the commitment.
Awesome.
Go ahead,
All right.
Marvin.
So Alabama currently sits at number 11 in this week's edition of the CFP, the initial playoff ranking. So we're sitting in the 11th spot. So being in the 11th spot means you still have a shot with this new 12-team playoff. So what do you think Alabama's offense needs to do to control this game against LSU? Because that is going to be the key to winning this game. Because so goes that offense, so goes that game. Because what we need to do is keep Nussmeier on the bench and LSU's offense on the bench and wear that defense down.
Slow them down.
So what do you see Alabama's offense needing to do to control this game?
Well, like you just said, you got to keep that offense off the field. I'm obviously confident in our defense, but it gives you a much higher percentage of win if you keep them off the field. So number one would be control the pace of the game. Chip at them, run it, everything. I think another thing that, is kind of slept on Milroe's performance against Georgia was just how good he ran and how smart he was. He wasn't taking stupid hits. We got the edge a lot. And when you can get the edge, like that in the run game, it sets up so much, sets up crossers, sets up stuff like that. So I think, number one, control the pace of the game. Number two is attack the middle of the field. Like in the Missouri game I was at, we hit Bernard over the middle a few times. You keep chipping at that. Then you got Ryan Williams. You got the quick outs, the stuff they like to dump off the quick game. You just keep chipping at them like that. I don't really see how, LSU's got a chance. I think Alabama's got an explosive offense. We've seen it. Ryan Williams was 72, I think, in that Georgia game. But I don't think that necessarily is our game this year. I think with Milroe, it's a 3-down thing. We got to just keep chipping at them, keep getting first downs, and keep offenses off the field.
All right. Second part to the question: what position did your dad play?
Middle linebacker.
All right. So that is a great position for a tight end to learn from, because I'm sure there were times when Dad sat you down and explained to you from a defensive perspective what you should do in terms of being a tight end, where you should break your routes off, where you find those empty spaces in zones, how you turn if a middle linebacker is covering on a bootleg and he has to identify that tight end running that shallow drag. I'm sure Dad taught you all the tricks of the trade on how to beat those coverages. So I feel like with what I know Dad taught you, it should put you ahead of the game as you go into college. So how do you feel like that relationship with your dad? Because again, I played middle linebacker, so I understand how offenses operate. So I know your dad knows how they operate. What did that do for your game?
Obviously I credit a lot of my success with my dad. He's a guy who's played at the highest level. He's won a national championship. He also did have offers at tight end, so he likes to think that was what he should have played. He messed with me. He's probably in here right now. He messes with me all the time about it.
Hey, Marshall.
He played.
Marshall, one thing, just so you know, tell Dad this next time you say that. Linebackers and tight ends, they can't catch.
I don't believe it.
Go ahead, Marshall. What are you saying? You have to ignore him sometimes.
His advice to me was, off rip since I started playing football it's a leverage game. And, as I got bigger, I got stronger, and I started playing against these ends, you really understand the importance of leverage. And, if you're an established run blocker and you can establish yourself, blocking ends and stuff, the opportunities to run shallows, to run, delay stuff, which is one of Coach DeBoer's favorite things, it's unlimited. So if you set his thing to me has always been, you got to set the tone right away. You got to let everybody on the field know, this is you got to own the box as a tight end. You got to own the box. You got to be able to, delete ends out of the game. Get the hits on the linebackers, all that stuff, because it's, you run out to block them, you can go right behind them. So if you're not effective in the run game, they're not going to bite on play action. And he, like I said, he tells me a little bit more of it from the tight end, spot, because that's what he swears he was better at. But from the linebacker too, I also have a brother who's played outside linebacker, and I went against him every day in practice last year. I learned a lot from him, and what he's learned at the college level too. So those two combined, they've helped me tremendously.
All right, and just remember, till that linebacker.
He's probably watching right now. He's hearing you.
Dad, as a former linebackers and tight ends, they can't catch.
my DM is going to be lighting up soon. Stephen M. Smith, listen, brother, you brought him in the right way. Now I want you to finish up this question and answer segment just as strong. Bring the energy with your question, and then we're going to let folks know how to find him on the interwebs.
So Marshall, you're getting a chance to watch this tight end room here. You're watching Robbie Oots, who's arguably the best blocker on the team. You're watching C.J. Dupree, who can catch the football and block. You're watching Josh Cuevas. Of all the guys in that room so far that you've been able to look at, who have you took the most of their game to put into yours when you're watching these tight ends already in Alabama's room?
I would say C.J. He's – like you said, Robbie's more of the fullback guy, the guy he's a punisher, man. He makes people pay for running up field too much and stuff like that. But CJ's game right now is pretty balanced. He's catching a few balls a game. Vanderbilt, I saw him catch a deep seam ball. Georgia, he caught up 4 or 5 balls. I would say definitely CJ, but I still think like I said earlier, in DeBoer's offense, if you go and watch Jack Westover, I forgot the other guy's name, but they had 2 tight ends go to the combine last year. If you go and watch their film, if you go and watch their film, they're running wheel routes, digs, stuff like that. And I like the way CJ runs his routes. He's a heavier guy, and I think his position, it wouldn't be the same as the role I'll play when I get there. But on the roster right now, I would definitely say CJ. I think it's kind of a no-brainer with the way they're using him right now.
Love it, Marshall. We greatly appreciate you hanging out with us, man. It's absolute blessing. You're part of the family now, so we're going to be calling you from time to time to get you back on here. We're definitely going to get you here around signing day to talk about that. And before you head off to campus, definitely need you back here. Before you head on out, tell the folks, first of all, how they going to find you on the internet. We got all your platforms. Let them know what they are. And then, talk to us.
Well, that, and I can't wait to cover you as you get on campus. And Stephen M. Smith, I'm going to make sure that the entire Alabama fan base knows exactly who you are. Marshall, there will be no Marshall.
Do not listen to this man.
Do you feel better?
I can tell he had to get that off his chest.
He did. Marshall, tell the folks how they can find you.
I got you. Instagram at Marshall Pritchett, just my first and last name. Pretty active on there. And then, Twitter at Marshall Pritch. I'm doing some recruiting for the Tide right now. I'm posting my highlights weekly, some tweets, stuff like that. So those are the 2 platforms I'm most active on. Would love to, continue to meet more of the Tide family. And, I'm excited.
Man, we're excited to have you. And we're looking forward to everything you're going to do starting in January, brother. Thank you so much again, brother.
No problem. Thank you, guys.
We'll be down the road,
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Take care. Peace.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Hey, I'm excited about what we got coming with that young man. Now it's time to talk about LSU. But before we do that, we got another sponsor. Listen, your game day is not complete, and your trip to Baton Rouge is not complete unless you have your title towel. Go to whitwillsports.com today. Enter the promo code STANDARD. Get you a nice discount courtesy of your favorite network, the Bama Standard Network. That's right, folks. Get your towel today. And remember to tell them the Bama Standard sent you. All right, guys, it's time. No more debating. We've seen what's happened this whole year. We've seen the highest of highs, and we've seen what is presumably maybe the lowest of lows. This week, Alabama's facing LSU for a double elimination. We're ranked number 11 in the college football playoff rankings. We're just barely touching the outside. This game could put us out completely. Not just there, but the SEC championship. Everything at this point counts. Listen, we can talk all day long about where we went right with Georgia. We can talk about where we went wrong with Vandy and Tennessee and maybe even South Carolina, but we can't talk about it anymore. We need to talk about what's going to change this week so that Alabama does not miss out on the playoffs. Marvin Constant, bring the energy. Talk to us about what this Bama team needs to do. What do they need to show you that says, you know, we belong, and LSU better be afraid?
Nobody cares about being number 11. Nobody cares that this is a double elimination game. Nobody cares that this is a damn night game. You know what they care about? This is Alabama versus LSU. Don't matter about the records. I will say this rivalry goes harder than any other rivalry that Alabama has. You can look at Alabama, Tennessee, Alabama, piss on it. Listen, when you play LSU, them cats coming to play. They showing up. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So you come out there with your tail tucked between your legs, they're going to send your ass back to that locker room bruised and battered. So I'm telling you now, you better come out that damn tunnel in warm-ups on go. You better come out ready. Because, again, a night game in Death Valley, there ain't nothing like it. I'm telling you now, the atmosphere is going to be crazy. The crowd, they're going to go wild. And I'm telling you, LSU will show up to play. You look at 2 years ago, we lost to him. What happened? Jaden Daniels, he got us. But again, that goes back to every time you play them, LSU is going to show up to damn play. So Alabama, if your ass ain't ready, stay at home. Because I'm telling you now, when you go to Baton Rouge, it ain't nothing nice. I was there for LSU's homecoming game against Ole Miss. I'm telling you now, you can sleep on them kids if you want to, but they're going to come out, and they're going to come out ready to play. And you saw what they did against Ole Miss at home. And Ole Miss is not a bad team by no means. Come out sleeping. Come out sleeping. It ain't going to end well for you. So I pray that they've had a good off week. They've had a solid week of practice. The game plan has been installed. Everybody knows what they're doing. They have their pre-snap reads and keys identified. They working them. They're ready to go. The offensive coordinator has his script down, so he can come out and he knows what he's going to run once he's off script. So that, again, this ain't the game where you got to find your damn self. This is the game where you better know who the hell you are and lay the law down.
Smoke, I know you're ready. I know you ready. You got the military hat on. You're ready to go to war. I don't know who has more pressure on them this game to perform, Jalen Milroe or Garrett Nussmeier. Garrett Nussmeier, if you let him stand in that pocket too long, he can carve you up. Now, when he gets under pressure, he can make some mistakes. He can cost you a game or two and possibly three. So in order to shut down Garrett Nussmeier, what part of this defense is going to be more critical to accomplishing that front seven who seems to become alive at the right time, or the back of that defense where you could argue those guys are coming alive at the right time? We got some pieces in place right now. We got a new addition with Bray Hubbard, who seems to have that engine running back there. Talk to me. How does Garrett Nussmeier be a non-factor in this game?
Well, I don't think he's going to be a non-factor. And just to answer your first question, it's going to have to be a combination of both. The front end and the back end are married. They go together. You have to be able to make him move off of his spots. And he does a pretty good job in the pocket. He's the best quarterback in the SEC right now, point blank, period. He can throw it. He can navigate the pocket. And he makes the right reads. And a lot of the naysayers against Garrett Nussmeier say he gives you an opportunity to get interceptions because he puts the ball in harm's way. But you can say that about all good quarterbacks. The bad ones don't throw it. The good ones trust their guys and trust themselves that they can put it in particular spots. And every now and then, a defensive back is going to go ahead and get you on one of the 50-50 balls. But this LSU's offense is the best offense that Alabama is going to have to face this year. Offensive line, they're the best. The receivers are the best, and this is the best quarterback. The only you can say is the run game is just subpar. But Bama's going to have to make them run the ball in order to beat them. Make them run. Because if you sit and allow Garrett Nussmeier to sit in the pocket and take his dealer's choice of cards that he wants, this secondary is not good enough right now to hold up against both of those receivers, Anderson and Lacey.
I want you to add something to your answer, Smoke.
Go ahead.
Now, I watched them play against South Carolina, and you asked me, South Carolina probably has the best bookends in the SEC, one of the best in the country. And at times, they struggle to get him off schedule. So what does Alabama's defensive line, if at all possible, have to do, and can they do it to get him off schedule?
Well, the left guard is down right now. Dillinger, he's not going to play. Garrett Dillinger is not going to play, according to report. So you have one of the 5 that's down. Those 2 bookend tackles, Emory Jones, Campbell, they're 2 of the better ones in the nation. You're not going to get pressure from the edge like you saw in South Carolina because Dylan Stewart and Kennard are 2 good edge rushers. You're going to have to get pressure and make him move off his pocket by getting interior push and making him now move to one side of the field or not, and make him now not be able to hitch up in the pocket because he's a good quarterback. Most bad quarterbacks that you see will try to roll out of the pocket, escape to the front door or the back door, meaning if you're left-handed or right-handed, back door is your left, front door is your right. Keep him from stepping up into the pocket by creating either double A-gap pressure with both your linebackers mugging up in there and finding a combination of twisting in those A and B gaps because your guard is down, so the communication is going to be off, and make sure that he can't sit there and play 7-on-7 and pick that young secondary with a new starter in the back end off all night.
Now, I asked that question for a reason to set this up. And you walked right into it when you said the linebackers in the A gaps. What type of pressure is Alabama going to have to bring to get him off his game, considering we don't have the threats on the edge to collapse that pocket? And when we bring said pressures, what deficiencies will we have to deal with on the middle of the field and the back end?
Well, Marvin, whenever you bring the double A-gap pressures, you're going to lose that middle of the field defender right away. So understanding that, and this is an old Bill Belichick, even Nick Saban rule, if you're going to send pressure up the middle, that pressure has to get there. So you are alleviating your coverage in the middle. So you're going to be short there. So any crossers, you shouldn't be able to see the crossers because that pressure should be in your face. So you're going to not have guys in the middle of your field underneath because you're sending up the middle. So the underneath coverage in the middle between the A and B gap should be wide open. But again, you have to get those guys there, and that pressure should be in his face that he can't step up in the pocket and make that happen.
Stephen M. Smith, you've waited a while to speak. No surprise, right?
Hey, you gonna stop taking shots at me, man?
Hey, I didn't say your name. Notice who spoke up the first. Smoke.
Marvin, I took too long.
See, that's what brothers are for.
It is. It is. Now, Stephen, I have 2 questions for you.
All right.
Marvin teed you up very nicely. We're looking at up front. We talked about some difference makers before we got on here. I'm looking at Tim Keenan III, who is graded the highest on this defensive line. He's been just spectacular this entire year. No one can ever question his performance. LT Overton is another dude who has been just amazing. Great addition. But you're talking about not having guys off the edge. I disagree. We got Q Robinson. But Stephen Smith, I'm looking for X factors in this game. And you mentioned one before we got on here. Talk to me about Jordan Renaud and what he brings to this game. This close this part up, and then I got something else for you.
Jordan Renaud is a young man that's coming on strong. These last few weeks here, every time he's gotten in, it's either been a tackle for loss, it's been a sack, it's been a negative play he has created. And he's taken snaps from LT Overton. He's taken some snaps from Jamarian Latham. He's taken some snaps from Keon Keeley. I mean, here's a guy in Renard that he can play. He can flat play. Now, he's one guy. Another guy to look for in this game is James Smith. James Smith is starting to come on too. And here is somebody that you have him and Quay Russo together on the field at the same time. Those two boys from Carver can wreak some serious havoc, those two. And Marvin, your guy last year was Dallas Turner, QB killer. When you look at Quay Russo, he said this week, I'm ready to cut it loose now. I'm not dealing with no more injury. I'm not on no pitch count. I'm ready to turn this thing loose. QB killer last year. What got you the game against LSU? He laid out Jaden Daniels. Here is Quay Russo's shot right here to be QB killer junior. You're not on the pitch count. You're not injured. You're ready to cut it loose. Here you go.
I love that. Love that.
See something in him.
Oh, I see. I mean, I see. Look, I see something in Quay. The reason why Quay didn't play a lot last year, Marvin, Quay was trying to learn it, right? He already had the body. He was just trying to learn it. Now that he knows it mentally, and he's even got more of the body, this is the game for Quay. This one.
Well, it's definitely one that the entire nation will be tuned into in terms of sports fans. So this is one of those games where if you want to put money in your pocket, this is your opportunity.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go.
What's the money line, Marvin? Come on.
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying for the players, it's their chance to put some good quality film out there to put money in their pockets. That's what I'm saying. Right. Yeah. I mean, because, this is the game people tune in to watch, the Alabama LSU, the Alabama Georgia. These are the games that they want to see what you're going to do in prime time when you're facing other NFL elite level talent.
Okay. I love it. Stephen M., you talked about learning. Now, one of the things I feel like is important for this offense is for our coaches to learn what we have in that running back room and also see on film where LSU has deficiencies. It was very obvious that Texas A&M struck gold, actually, by running the ball, hitting them straight in the mouth, and not looking back to see how many bodies are laying behind them. We got some dudes who have been ready and just begging to tote that rock. Justice Haynes showed it last week, that frustration when he just plows straight through a Missouri defender. Now, a lot of pressure is going to be put on Milroe to perform in this game. And he's the quarterback. He's going to get a lot of the pressure thrown on him. But for Alabama to win this game, well, they have to ride these running backs to victory.
They're going to need to, especially if rain is a factor in this game. People are looking at the weather right now. Tropical storm happening in the Gulf. So if that comes into fruition, you're going to need to ride those backs. And Parker Burrell spoke on it during the bye week. We feel like we can run the ball on anybody. Well, here's your shot. Here you go, Parker. Here it is. Run the football on this team right here. LSU's given up 130 yards rushing a game. They've allowed 14 rushing touchdowns. Justice Haynes is averaging over 6 yards a carry. Jam Miller is averaging over 6 yards a carry. Richard Young busted a 62-yard run 2 weeks ago against Missouri. The backs are right there. Give them the football. Your Nick Sheridan, you saw 2 weeks ago. If I trust this run, if I'm seeing my guys getting 4 to 5 yards, lean on them. Lean on them. Wear the opposition out. Here's the game to do it.
Smoke, talk to me. Talk to me about the advantages you see Alabama has with these backs. And maybe who is this game more suited for? Justice, Jam, or should we be looking the way of one Richard Young?
I think it's a combination of all three with the extra advantage of your quarterback being able to run. And the reason why, and Stephen, I'm just going to follow up on a few things. And with the run game, because you touched on a majority of them already, so I'm not going to double back. You run the ball to control the pace of the game. You run the ball to control all crowd noise. And also, you put and instill fear in the opponent's heart by letting them know that irregardless of how many guys you have in the line of scrimmage, I'm still going to play bully ball. And that's the identity that you want to have when you're going towards the end of the season in November, when the leaves starts coming off of the trees. The guys in the trenches are telling you exactly what they want to do. Your quarterback is telling you what you want to do. The weather's telling you that. So you're doing that to keep that potent offense that LSU has with Nussmeier on the sideline by running the ball, but also you're taking the will from that defense by running the ball as well too, and also giving your team now the right mindset and the identity that we are strong, tough, physical, and we're going to walk out of here. If it's a 1-point win, a 2-point win, we're going to leave them out here bloody, sore, black and blue. So run the ball.
Marvin, pick it up. You heard what Smoke said. You're a dude who's always been physical. You know nothing but that. What do you need to see from these backs, or do you need to also see something from Milroe too?
You know, honestly, I'm not going to say I need to see anything from the backs. I think the backs have shown you who they are. I need to see the offensive coordinator lean on the damn backs. I need to see him feed the backs, because as he feeds those backs and those backs are successful, Smoke will tell you, so goes the run game, so goes the pass game. Because if those backs are doing what they need to do, then you look at walking that safety down in the box. You got an 8-man box. There ain't no way in the hell you ain't going to tell me Jeremy Bernard, Ryan Williams, somebody ain't going to be damn open over the top early and often. But that comes with dominating the line of scrimmage in the run game to the point to where you have to walk that 8th defender in the box. But again, that doesn't happen if you're running the ball once every 5, 6, 7 plays. Nobody's going to respect your run. And that's what we've been doing all season. Run the damn ball. Make them respect us up front so that we can take the top off later on.
Well, Marvin, with that said, just go back and take the recipe from what South Carolina did against LSU. Do the same thing that Texas A&M did against LSU. You have to just stay with the run game. And just even when you get an 8-man box, Marvin, that's 8 defenders within 5 or 7 yards of the line of scrimmage, you still can run the ball. That 8th defender now becomes your running back's problem, or you do zone read. Now it's now that 8th defender's problem to see how he's going to defend the run option between quarterback and running back. So you can still run the ball with the loaded box of 8 men.
You can still run the ball, but that opens it up for the pass game. But if you look at what South Carolina did against LSU, even after they lost their starting quarterback, South Carolina still had a shot to win that game.
Oh, yeah.
They still ran the ball effectively against LSU when LSU knew they couldn't even pass the damn ball.
Correct. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Marvin, I've heard a lot of great things from both you and Smoke. Ask Stephen Smith this question. I'm looking for X factors. I'm looking for guys who are difference makers in this game. Give me a guy that you got your eye on this offense, but also someone you got on this defense.
On the offense, I'm hoping we're going to rely and lean heavily on that run game. And with that X factor is going to be Robbie Oots. You know, again, him getting those critical blocks, chipping up to that second level to get those guys a few more additional yards before they have to actually get to those DBs. Because again, as a defensive back, do I want to tackle Justice and Jam all game? Hell no. So that's where Robbie Oots is going to come in, man. He is great at blocking. You know, they use him often as an H-back as well. So again, it's going to be imperative that Sheridan sets him up with plays to where those blocks will spring those backs. On the defensive side of the ball, I'm going to go with our defensive ends. LSU has the 2 best tackles in the SEC, hands down. They're going to have to show up and do something. You got to earn your scholarship this week. Earn the meals at Brian Denny this week, okay? I'm going to need you to earn everything that they gave you this week, okay?
So no free ice cream, huh, Marvin?
Yeah. No free ice cream.
I'm going to need you to
cheeseburgers.
I need you to earn everything, Because I kid you not, if we cannot get Nussmeier off his spot and we give him all day to throw, he's going to pick us apart.
7-on-7.
Yep. So those two guys, whoever the two are at all times, whoever they rotating, Smith, Russo, whoever, earn your damn scholarship this week.
Okay. I feel like that's getting all the way back to Tuscaloosa. He's getting in the locker rooms, getting on the practice field. There's no question about it. When Marvin speaks, you better damn well listen. In that right, chat. All right. Smoke.
Yes, sir.
You're not a guy who is in their predictions. You never pretended to be, nor is Nick Saban.
Nope.
But Nick Saban's doing it. I'm not going to ask you to do it.
Come on,
Nick.
What I am going What I am going to ask from you, Alabama wins if
Jalen Milroe throws for 250 and rushes for 150 yards and is combined for 4 touchdowns. Comes down to both of the quarterbacks. Whatever quarterbacks plays the most efficient game, they control their teams well and get into the playoffs and controls the overall factor of what happens on Saturday night.
So your answer is very similar, because if Justin had asked me that same question, I would have said it in reverse, but I would have said Nussmeier in the fact of, can we get him off his mark? Can we disrupt his timing? Can we make Nussmeier a non-factor? So it's the same answer, just in reverse.
Yeah. You can make Nussmeier a non-factor because he only controls one facet of the game. The greatest equalizer in college football is a dual threat quarterback.
Yep. But
if you don't take advantage of it, and I haven't seen it at a full pace, what Alabama's done in the last few weeks, and we're not taking advantage of what we have in Jalen Milroe. We're asking him to do something that he's not really good at.
Yeah, that too.
Well, Smokey, I'd say you teed him up pretty well. Great job. I love how you gave that warm handoff. So, Marvin, to close up your part of this, give me your prediction. You've already given me the guys you want to show up and show out. You're a betting man, but you're also an Alabama man. Give me your prediction, and then I'm going to go to Stephen and Smith.
So if I could show you all my betting app for the last 3 weeks, I have been wearing my bookie out, baby. Whoa! When I say I have been owning his ass. Now.
Oh, God, the greatest bettor in the world, Marvin Constant.
I'm just saying, but with me owning him, though, I have to look at things. No, because here's the thing: when you bet on football, you can't bet based on love. You can't bet based on emotions. You have to truly look at the matchups and determine, hey, is this worth me losing my money on if this goes wrong? So you have
a conscious betting man. A moral complex.
I just asked for a prediction, Smoke.
Well, but those are all the factors. So when I'm deciding what bets I'm going to take, I look at everything from injury reports to offensive line matchups with defensive line. I look at everything. And from the research that I've done.
Hey, you want to borrow my glasses, man?
Yeah. Give it to us. LSU or Bama.
From the research that I've done to this point, I'm going to take Bama. But the reason why I'm going to take Bama is not because it's Alabama. It's because Bama has a few advantages over LSU that I actually like in terms of our run game. I think our run game is better. I think our wide receivers is better. I think that they probably
No dice. Keep going.
Well, no. I'm just saying in terms of how we execute yards per game and everything else. So I think we have a bit of an edge, but that's contingent upon us effectively running the ball. I'm saying what I think may happen in this game. If we can run the ball successfully, it's going to open up our pass game. So honestly, I like Bama, but I think it'll be a close game, no more than a 2 or 3 point victory. So if anything, I'm going to say take the points.
Okay. Stephen M. Smith. I'm giving you I'm giving you the entire floor because you had the opportunity to really express yourself, I should say. To your best. I want hyped up Stephen M. Smith. I don't want professional Stephen M. Smith. I want the guy who's losing his mind up in that dang press box. Talk to me about this game, brother. Predictions. What are we going to see? Give me them players of the game.
Well, the only reason why I would lose my mind up there is the food hasn't been great, all right? It has not been. There's been no steaks, no snow cones. We've been having them same mint chili dogs the last about, 3 weeks. So that's the only reason why I would lose my mind up there. But in terms of X factors here, number one, Emmanuel Henderson. This is E-Man's time. Cole Adams hurt out for the year. Every time E-Man's gotten in, he's made big plays. E-Man, X factor in this game from the receiving standpoint. He will have one touchdown catch in this game. I'm calling it right now. Emmanuel Henderson will have one touchdown reception, at least one. He'll have one. Defensively, my X factor, give me Jahad Campbell, baby. Campbell has started to really heat up. He understands the second half of the season. I got to crack some heads and take some names later. So give me Campbell as the defensive X factor.
Love it.
I feel like you still got a little bit left in you. I need you to bring it. This is LSU week, Stephen M. Smith.
Of course it's LSU. Look, this was the one game in Saban's 17 years he took this one personal. This was the one, right? This was the one game where NFL draft on the line, Heisman on the line, SEC on the line, National on the line, hot dogs and beer on the line. Everything's on the line with this one right here, Alabama LSU. I got Bama 28-24. Milroe has a drive at the end. Kalen DeBoer looks at Mike the Tiger, stabs him in the throat, and walks out.
My gosh.
You asked for it, he gave it to you. You didn't want to beg for the throat.
That's why I've been wanting all season. Oh my! All right, we're gonna have an altar call. Y'all go ahead and come up and drop some money in the basket. Stephen Smith, since I have you on the hot seat, there is a question here from the audience from DSGB. What's the mentality of the team?
Georgia boy.
That's what I was thinking. What? Pastor Troy, baby.
Oh man, mentality of this team. They ready. I mean, they ready. They ready. From talking to all of them, they ready, and they know we gotta win this. This is a must win. They know. Every last one of them know. This is a must win for us to get in this playoff, to control our own destiny, win out, get in, and once you get in, take over. Once you get in there, but they know the importance of this.
All right.
Ready.
Listen, if you can't get ready after this episode, I honestly don't know what it's going to take for you folks to get fired up. We've done everything we can. And listen, this network we have, we're going to be providing you with everything all week. Right after this, around 8 p.m. Central, you got the final whistle. They're going to be bringing you some more Bama content. They're also going to be talking about some of the greatest games, Alabama versus LSU, in the history of the rivalry. And then tomorrow, that's going to be, like I said, 8 p.m. Central. So y'all don't go anywhere. Tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. Central, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, we got the Crimson Dynasty, Cici Payne, Dan James, Justin J.B. Baines. Stephen M. Smith's going to be along for the ride too. So you'll get more of Stephen M. Smith if this wasn't enough for you. And then the nightcap, you got the legend, the OG, George Teague for Teague's Take. 8:15 p.m. Central, 9:15 p.m. Eastern. He's going to be breaking down film. You've heard us talk about it. He's going to put it into motion by showing you everything. Don't miss this episode. And then right after the game, we're going to be live, the Bama Standard post-game show. And Sunday night, we're going to be back Sunday night talking Bama with Justin, J.B. Baines, Stephen M. Smith, Josh Tucker, and Marshall Bean. That's at 7 p.m. Central. And then to start the week off right the next week, you got some more smoke coming your way. And Daniel Petty. You can't get enough of those two guys. You got the opening kick Monday night at 7 p.m. Central. Can't think of a better way to do it. Listen.
Started off right.
Tell you folks, this is like doing mission work right here. I feel like we changed some lives this episode.
You changed Marvin's life. He's still winning his book. He's still not looking for him. He's looking for him.
I've been working him, baby.
The only gambler I know that's always winning. The only guy I know that's always winning.
Hey, you see what I just sent y'all?
I ain't looked at it yet.
I be owning him, baby. Listen, man, I dissect some football now. If there's one thing I can do, it's dissect football.
There we go. Give me your social, Marvin. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go around the room. Let's give our social.
My social media. I thought you meant social security number. My social security number for. They're gonna be right here driving Cadillacs and Benzes. I look at my credit report. I ain't bought all this. All right, you can find me on Instagram, Constant45, Twitter, Constant451.
You ain't right, man.
You said social. I'm thinking, hey, hold on,
man. You ain't right.
No early Christmas.
Go ahead, Stephen M, bro. Go ahead.
I don't know, Marvin, how they contact you if they need some help with the parlays and all that good stuff.
Man, don't nobody want none of them garbage.
Well, Stephen Smith dressed like a bookie, so you just call Stephen Smith.
Man, bruh.
Why you always bringing my dog back in this, man? Let my dude be.
He always deflecting to somebody else.
Yeah.
He dressed like an accountant. Come on, all right, let's.
That's a nice shirt, Stephen M. That's a nice shirt.
I appreciate the shirt, but they can find me with coaches tomorrow. They can find me on the show tomorrow, talking, your Crimson Tide, and of course, getting everybody set for Bama LSU this weekend.
But you know
what? They ain't hyped. They asses ain't Bama. It's LSU week, baby.
Stephen M., you did an awesome job, man, on Fine Bond, bro. Just want to give you your flowers, brother.
I appreciate that, man. Paul was trying to run me out of there, but I held my own.
Nah, he can't run you out of there. You got 10 toes down the concrete to the floor, man. Beautiful job today, man.
If you can survive us, you can survive anything.
Pretty much, yeah.
Smoke, that leaves you. How folks can find you?
On next, you can get me at Coach GV Dixon on IG, Smoke G Dixon. Get with me, man. We got a bunch of content coming out. I'm always spitting the gospel, always tell you the truth. I don't hang out with Marvin Constant anymore because he always gets me in trouble. And I don't have no bookie, so I don't want to hang out with him. And his credit scoring ain't high as mine, so we don't even hang out with him.
No.
Well, with friends like this, what do I need enemies for, baby?
Hey, listen, I can co-sign for you. That's what you need me for.
I don't need a co-signer, baby.
All right. Guys, you know what? I feel like there's something missing. I can't close the show this way. And I feel like this week of all weeks, we need that little extra. And there's only one way I can do that. It's not one way. It's one man. There's only one man that can stir up not just a locker room, but a stadium and all of college football nation. And Marvin, Smoke, you know who this guy is. And I'm about to bring him on so he can deliver a speech to this team because this is everything. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, probably one of the best to ever do it at wide receiver, one of the best coaches in the game right now.
Come on.
AC Carter.
Come on.
What's up, baby?
What's up, baby?
What's up, fellas? Can y'all hear me?
Oh, we hear you loud and clear, man. We're ready to hear. We're ready to hear you.
Man, I'm excited to be on. Thank you again. Hey, Smoke, you did a phenomenal job last night, big dog.
Man, bro, I appreciate you, my G.
Always good to see my guys.
Stop stroking his ego, man.
Nah, we just uplift each other. You bring us down. Don't worry. Keep going.
That's exactly right, man. Hey, one team, one fight, baby.
That's it.
But what you say, two can accomplish more than, not twice as much, but more than.
That's exactly right. Well, man, hey, look, I don't have long. I got to get back in the staff meeting, man. But look, I'm super excited to be on. Talk to me, Jay. What you got for me?
Man, listen, I was telling the guys I couldn't send this show off without hearing from you. You are one of the greatest motivators I've ever met. Now, Feed the fans. Feed us. Give us some of that spirit, that Holy Spirit coming out you, radiating. If you're in front of Bama right now, who's got everything on the line this Saturday night, what are you saying to them to ensure that victory?
Now, I'm going to just tell them guys, hey, we're going to be relentless with the details. Period. Right? Relentless with the details. Go have fun. Play fast. Hey, man, who cares? Who cares? Go play and have fun. Ain't nothing like it. Ain't nothing like you're going to be in the big, bright lights. Ain't they going to be playing down the road in Baton Rouge? Nighttime, ain't it?
Yes, sir.
Oh, man, it don't get no better than that. It don't get no better than that. So, man, I would tell them guys, they go out there, show up and show out. Do what all you can do, man. Be relentless with the details. Have fun. Play fast. And lock their gate. Don't let them out till you're done with them. Period.
Woo! Man, AC, I needed that word. The team needed that word, brother. Thank you so much.
Man, guys, you're so welcome. I'm super excited again to be on. Thankful for you guys. Super excited for what you're doing, Justin, Marvin, Smoke Dog. Man, I'm so excited about you guys, man. I see this show growing. Now, I be watching when y'all don't think I be watching. I be on and tuned in and listening. I'm proud of each and every one of you. I love you and roll tide.
Love you too, brother. Roll tide.
Love you too,
Yes, sir.
brother.
Lock the gate. Don't let them out. Don't let them out.
Yes,
till
sir.
you're done with them.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, AC. We greatly appreciate you.
You're welcome, man.
All right, Deuce.
Man, that's the way you end the show, guys.
Yeah, that's my guy, man.
All right, folks, that's going to do it for us at the Bama Standard. Like I said, we got more coming your way. Tune in to all the shows, support them, and we'll see you again next Tuesday night. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.